Hey, Marlene.
Hey, I'm in a different room tonight.
Well, you know what? Carol just texted me. She goes, "Oh my gosh, it's Wednesday. Are we on tonight?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, she was on a minute ago.
I don't know. We'll see who shows up."
Okay. Well, I was actually just adding up my totals. I'm over 30, but I don't have all my paperwork with me. I'm just downstairs. Mike's doing some work. Yeah.
Yay! Way to
Yeah.
go! You guys are cool.
What a difference, November and December. I should actually, not even to do draws, just to enter how much I've sold on the trainings, because holy, what a difference.
Oh, from coming on Thursday nights?
Monday nights. Monday, Wednesday, Thursday. Like just everything.
Good job.
I know I'm in a grubby. I'm for the riders, though.
Hey, you never go wrong with that. That's for sure. But we'll keep an eye on it if anybody shows up, because I forgot to mention. I totally forgot. Oh, actually, I didn't forget. I thought it was Tuesday, so I was actually prepared to go on tomorrow night, which would have been New Year's Eve.
Yeah,
I'm losing a day here.
That's okay. No worries.
Yeah, it's okay. We'll see if anybody else comes, and we'll go from there.
If not, that's fine.
Well, I'm so glad to hear you've been having some awesome success.
I've actually
do you feel like it's just the regularity of it that's keeping you in the game, or what do you think is the difference?
It's just, if I was in class, like if I was even on the Zoom and in some of in the Comfort Inn doing classes, all my girls would just go like, wow, is she ever different?
Oh, wow. That's so good to hear.
What I want to do with your Thursday nights is I'm trying to copy and paste onto a Word document, and then I'm going to take them into Staples and get them into a Coral book. So when I go back into class, I can just grab and say, this is what we're doing, and just pull your notes. Read them. Like Mike and I used to do a trial run at home for about a week, from the Sunday before, the Sunday of the week, and then do it the Monday night training.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I used to do a lot of prep, and like Memory and Anne-Marie. Anne-Marie's gone down to move to Ontario, but Memory's still here, and my other gal, Sarah. So all three of us are active right now. 4 of us.
Right. Awesome.
So what a difference. But yeah, keeping the following up, not hearing enough of in the past, knowing this follow-up thing. I didn't get it.
Right.
But I've only worked my day job for 5 years, so I've had lots of ample time to see people.
Right. Well, I think too, sometimes people are afraid of follow up in the fear of being pushy or seen as pushy, when really it's not that at all. Yeah. But I'm actually going to talk a little bit about that. So that's awesome. So I see we have a couple more people that joined us. So that's really awesome. These gals, you guys are amazing, because you didn't even need to be reminded. All of a sudden, Carol just texted me and she's like, "Are we on tonight?" I'm like thinking, "Oh no, that's tomorrow, because it's Tuesday." I know it's actually Wednesday. So thank you guys for being on. I really think that it's important that we're here today, because this is the day before month end, the day before year end. And this is when all the magic happens, when things are going well and you're going right to the end. There is magic in working until the end. And Crystal's on here, and I know she knows that, because she's a new director and she's earned a car, and she knows that it doesn't just happen, and it's working right till that last minute. And you guys have all had goals where you've had to do that. So I want to talk tonight. I'm going to go over what I'm going to go through with you, so you know what to expect. I want to talk about working to the end. I want to talk about what do you do to close up on a month, so that you're really maximizing everything you can in that month, and all the legwork that you've put up to that point. And another thing that's different is December is different than any other month, because Christmas changes things for us. A lot of people take a lot of time off at Christmas. A lot of people are very busy around the Christmas time. But it's a different time. So I want to talk about how we close off December differently than any other month. I also want to mention sort of what you want to do now, and then what you want to do come very beginning of January. Nadia did such a fantastic job of teaching about inventory and year end and year beginning and all that, right? So I just want to go through and give you just a quick checklist of the things that you want to make sure that you're doing December 31st, January 1st in there. And then I have a couple of stories for you that I want, and I'm going to start with one of them. Okay. I think when you've been in the business for a long time, you start to really see the fruits of your labor that come out, and you never really know. I mean, my girls that are on here know I say this all the time, but it's like, you really never know when your seeds are going to grow, right? We know that we plant seeds and we plant seeds and we plant seeds, and we just never know when they're going to germinate, when they're going to start to sprout and give us the fruit or the flower. And so there's business basics things that you can do that are going to pay off. So today was one of those days for me. Today I got an email from a girl that I didn't recognize her name. And that's not completely unusual for me because I do a lot of bridal shows. So I often meet people when their maiden name and then they get married and I don't recognize their name. But this one, I was like, I don't recognize her name. And she wanted to know if I had any boxing or like boxing week things going on or any promos, which I thought, okay. So she's not responding to one of my emails because I send out emails to my customers, right? And I'm like, okay. So I just asked, I'm like, Hannah, I don't have a file for you here. And she's like, no, you probably don't, because I met you at your home when I came there with my mom a couple of years ago, but I told you that I didn't want any correspondence. So you didn't put me in your files. You didn't put me on your email. You didn't put me in there because I told you not to. And I was like, oh, okay. And she said, yeah, my mom is, and she said her mom's name, but she recently passed away. And I was like, because I just dropped product off for this lady very beginning of October. And she was great and she's awesome. And we always like had great giggles, and she was probably maybe 10 years older than me, but not much more than that. And I was like, like, I was really glad I wasn't on the phone with her because I was just stuck for work. I was like, what? I feel like I just saw her. And so I said, is it okay if I ask, like, what happened? Because I just saw her and she looked fabulous. And she said, middle of October, they found that her breast cancer had come back, and 8 weeks later, she was gone. And I was like, oh, I'm so sorry. You're really young to have to be, not have a mom. I'm really just sorry. And my sympathies to you and your family. And she said, yeah. So when mom passed away, I took all of her Mary Kay stuff out of her bathroom, and I'm hooked. And I'm really glad that you put your sticker on the back of all the bottles, because if you wouldn't have, I would have had no idea who to call. And so I was like, okay, this is a sad story, but it's a good story. But so if you don't get the rolls of labels from MK Connections, is where I get them, and they're waterproof, so they're awesome, and put them on the back of all of your products. The only thing I don't put them on is my eyeliner, lip liner, because it's just too small. And I don't put them on the lipstick because I feel like it trashes up the container and they get all sticky and gooey and weird. But I put this on there, and mine just says questions or reorders, contact me. My name is on top of that. And then I have my email, my website, and my cell phone. And so because of that, she ordered a miracle set today from me. I put a bunch of extra stuff in there because I just loved her mom and I just want to treat her, and I feel bad. I put a sympathy card and all that sort of thing in there, but just know, she was like, no, I mean, I facialed the girl and she's like, I don't want any correspondence. Like, that's pretty certain, right? That she doesn't want to be my customer. Yet 2 years later, things change. And because she had a good experience, I respected her wishes. And I did some business basics, and it's turned into a skincare customer unexpectedly at the end of December in 2020. Like, you just don't know. So when you feel like a little discouraged, because now I remember that appointment. I've always remembered her mom because her mom and I really connected, but I remember her being very standoffish and kind of feeling like, am I losing my ability to connect with people that are younger than me? That's what I came out of that appointment with. Is it that I'm like, am I losing that ability? Am I getting too old to connect with people that aren't my age? Like, that's what I was worried about. But now I know it wasn't that. She might, I mean, who knows? She could have had a bad experience with some other company, and it just, didn't work for her, but whatever. So yeah, the story is, make sure you put your sticker on stuff, because you never know when that's going to come back to pay you. All right. So that's that story. All right. So let's talk about December. So some of you might be shouting from the rooftops about what a fabulous month you're having. Some of you may be crying from the depths because it's kind of sucked for you. Some of you had a really great Christmas. Some of you are feeling let down and sad, and probably everything in between. And you know what? All of it is okay. This has been really weird times, and really weird stuff has been going on. And whatever is going on is okay. But what I want to just go through with you is, when it's really good, keep going. When it's really bad, keep going. When it's just meh, keep going. Because it's in those times where the mud is the most sticky, that when you keep going, the blessings really come. And on our team call on Monday, Marlene and Christy were there. I don't know who else is on now. But we had some talks about valley times and rooftop times. And in this year, how they've been. And it was a pretty good conversation, I would say. And it just, a lot of the stories, the valley times, the low times, the tough times, that's what actually helped the good times really happen. And so if it feels tough, just keep going. So what does that mean in December? What do you mean keep going? Okay, Angie, fine. You say keep going. What does that mean? I don't know what to do. Tell me what to do when it's the month before month end and I don't know what to do. Tell me what to do, right? That's what you're saying to me. And so I want to tell you some of the things that you can do. Okay, number one, I want you to take a look at who has purchased from you in this last quarter, October, November, and December. Who has purchased from you? And have you done your follow-up? Okay, when I say follow-up, what do I mean? What do I mean, follow-up? Well, I'm going to tell you another story. My friend Tabitha had a Norwex party, November-ish, October, November, somewhere in there. And I bought the Norwex mop because I'm in a new house now and it's got lots of tile floor. And I've heard this Norwex mop is so great. And so I bought the Norwex mop. You guys, this woman I bought from, I mean, I've got a friend who does Norwex. You know, she doesn't live close to me, but that's who I usually buy it from. I've got, people that I know that dibble dabble and order here and there. But this girl was fantastic with her follow-up. And I told her that. So what did she do that set her apart? Well, first of all, when I placed the order, immediately when she got it, she messaged me and said, thank you so much for contributing to Tabitha's party. Because of you, she got an extra blah, blah, blah credit. And I was like, oh, that's really nice of her. Then when she saw my tracking number come up, she texted me and said, just so you know, your mop is scheduled to arrive on blah, blah, blah day. And I thought, oh, excellent. Now we're doing a lot more customer direct ships, aren't we, ladies? Right? We're directly shipping to our customers. So this is important that we're doing that for our people too. Then my order came and I got it. And a couple of days after I got it, she messaged me and she said, wondering how you're doing with your mop and if you have any questions. Because from what I understand, you didn't have one before. And I was like, yeah, actually, because Tabitha told me I was supposed to get this little brush to help clean the thing, and I didn't. And it was kind of like, I didn't like using my hands to wring things out, and it was icky. And I told her, no, actually, Tabitha said I should have this brush. She goes, yeah, it really makes a difference. I promise it makes a difference. And if it doesn't, I'll give you your money back. They don't have that guarantee. Or yeah, they do. They have a 60-day guarantee. She goes, you can get your money back. So I ordered this brush and I love it. Then a couple of days ago, so this must have been in October, a couple of days ago, she messaged me and she just said, just making sure you're happy with all your products because you have a couple more days, or we have a few more days left before your guarantee is over. And so if you don't like it, we can send it back if you're not liking it. She had the balls to say that, right? That if it didn't work and that I didn't like it, they would do money back. And I was like, wow, that's really good follow-up. And so when my mother-in-law was here, I was talking about this other product that they have. And she said, oh, where do you think I can buy it from? Guess who I recommended? I recommended the girl that gave me the great follow-up, right? So which by the way is the cleaning paste. It's amazing if you need some really good cleaning, Norwex cleaning paste. Anyways, so now for what does that mean in Mary Kay language, right? So Mary Kay language, you did an appointment or sold product or got a referral who ordered or something like that in October, November, December, you're going to call her and you're going to say, hi, it's Marlene, your Mary Kay lady. I'm just wondering how you're doing with your products. I mean, you can make small talk before that, right? And she's going to say, oh, it's fantastic. And that's great. Or she might say, I haven't used it yet. And then I always joke when they say, haven't used it yet. I'm like, oh, guess what? I just learned that if you use it, it works better. Ha ha ha, right? Just to sort of make light of it and just say, no, I try to understand. You've probably been really busy, but try it out and let me know what you think. If they come back with some negative feedback, I had one customer message me and say, or when I phoned that, she's like, actually, I don't like the CC cream. I broke out in a rash. I didn't realize it had sunscreen and I'm allergic to sunscreen. All right, let's exchange it out for you. What do you need? Right? It's just, what do you need? So doing that kind of follow-up from anybody from October, November, or December is great. Also, if you're running any sort of promotion right now, for the Boxing Week or whatever, you can drop that in there and just say, if you're needing anything, check your email, because I did send you notice about Boxing Day deals that I have right now. Now, those that are not interested in buying anything will be like, okay, thanks. Those that are like, oh, I got money for Christmas. What does she have? They might say to you, oh, what do you got going on? Right? It can build that kind of sales. And just following up and letting them know that you're there. A call is great. A text is good too. But just making sure. Now, even if they don't answer you, okay, ladies, this is where it gets sticky. Even if they don't answer you, doesn't mean they're not reading the message. Doesn't mean that you're not making a difference. So don't take it as though they think you're bothering them. Please don't assume. Assuming makes an ass out of you and me. Don't assume, because how many texts have you gotten from someone and you've been in the middle of doing something and you think, I'll get to that later, and then you forget? Has that ever happened to you? Happens to me all the time. And then when they call back and say, just wondering if you got my message, you're like, oh yeah, thank you for calling. I totally forgot, right? I had that happen with something lately. And she thanked me like 3 times for calling back, because she just got busy and she didn't mean to not get back to me, and whatever it was, I forget what it was even for, but she just kept thanking me and thanking me. And I mean, I appreciate that too. When the dentist calls and says, your kids' appointments are due, do you want to schedule them today? Perfect. Now I don't have to look up your number. Absolutely. Right. So just making sure that you're doing that follow-up. All right. So those are the people that you've sold to in October, November, December. Who else have you had contact with? Have you done any career coffees in October, November, December? If you have, you want to follow up and just say, you know what, we did a career coffee back in November, and then time flies. And so I'm just wondering if you have any more questions about the Mary Kay opportunity that I can answer for you, or if the time is right now, or if you think it may be something down the road, or never. Where are you at? And that way you can spark some discussion there, because the starter kit's $24. Like, who doesn't have $24 to get started, right? Another thing that you can check up with is people that you have had on your groups. So if your director does like a Thursday night beauty lesson or a beauty break or something where there's a regular class and you have certain customers that have been on there, you want to follow up with them too. And so you might phone them up and say, hey, Marlene, I noticed you've been on the beauty lessons page on Thursday night, and I just want a little bit of feedback. Do you have a minute I can talk to you? And she'd say, for sure. And then just say to her, okay, so what do you love most about coming to these group sessions that we're doing virtually? And then she might tell you and just say, if there's anything that we could do to improve that experience for you, what would that be? And she might say, instead of doing so much makeup all the time, I'd really like more like skincare. Or she might say, they're absolutely fabulous. I love them all. I mean, who knows what she's going to say? Whatever she says is good, because it's going to give you, some feedback, and just say, has there been anything that you think you need to pick up for me lately? Is your skin needing anything from those classes, or just things that have come up? Is there anything that you're needing right now? Just doing my, just my little sales right before the year end here for people who might be needing it. And, you never know what that's going to turn into. Okay. So that's for people who've joined your classes, either the ones your director does or the ones you've been personally doing yourself. Last but not least is your PCP participants. Now you're thinking, Angie, why are you talking about this now? PCP books came out a long time ago, but did they? This year they came out really late. Normally we get them like November-ish, middle of November. And some of my customers only got theirs middle of December, a whole month later. And please, ladies, this is not the company's fault. Don't be mad. Don't be hating on Mary Kay, because our company goes above and beyond to help us out with this kind of stuff. And if things got delayed right now, it's not because of Mary Kay not doing their job. It's because postal service is so slow. Some of the things I shipped out on December 6th, one of them I shipped out to the East Coast on December 6th. It is now in Richmond, BC. From December 6th to now, it went the wrong way. It's in BC. It's supposed to be on the East Coast. So I'm not sure when it's going to get there. I don't want to, so people got their catalogs late. So it's not a bad thing to be phoning those PCP participants and saying, hey, so the Mary Kay catalog was supposed to come in the mail. And I know that right now, mail is really weird. So I'm just wondering if you got yours yet. And if they say, actually, yeah, I just got it, just say, it's almost a month late, but I just wanted to phone, make sure you got it, and see if you noticed that we've got a couple new things in there. Did you notice that there's a new vitamin serum C plus E, or whatever you love? Ladies, don't be artificial about it. If there's certain things in the catalog that you love, that is what you talk about, because your passion will ooze out of every pore, and you barely need to even move your mouth, and they're going to want it, because it's just whatever you love, you'll talk about. Okay. And so just find out if they got their catalog, see how their skin is doing, find out if they need anything. Okay. So those are kind of all the follow-up-y things you can do before the end of December. Now, if you're someone who's reaching for a goal, well, then you're going above and beyond. You're doing all you can do. Right now, this last couple of days when I sent out a text the other day to all of my customers saying, Merry Christmas. I am so grateful in this, weird year that you have stuck with me. Your loyalty is so appreciated. And so for all of my customers, as a Christmas gift, I'm putting a $10 credit on your account that you can use anytime. And I got orders right away. I got a lot of thank yous. I got a lot of, oh my gosh, I'm so excited. That is so nice of you. I also put on the very bottom, also, our starter kit's only $24 right now, if that is something you're interested in. And I got a new team member out of it. So that's exciting. So you just don't know. I put that on there just to let people know, okay, I'm back. Because I sort of, like around the 23rd, I got really tired and I got really excited about Christmas and making things special for the kids. And I kind of like slowly slipped out of the Mary Kay business, that we can do that. I mean, my store was open. If they needed something, they could call me, but I wasn't as obviously in working mode. So I sent that text out sort of to just let them know, and hey, I'm back. I love you and I'm appreciative of your loyalty. Here's a little treat. Use it when you want. And it got me some sales. It got me a new team member. It got me back into the game. All right. And that's what we need to do. Because I mean, some people take all, between Christmas and New Year's off, and that's great. Whatever you want to do to schedule your business, you are an independent beauty consultant. So you get to schedule your holidays and you get to do all of that. So you do that. for what works for you. I find if I take like a full week like that off, it doesn't really work for me for some reason. But I did take some good time off and I'm back. So I have also, when I've been talking to people, because that text did generate some interest. It did, I did a couple of lives, which was great as well. And so what that did for me, when they did call, is I said, hey, can we get together and do a quick Zoom? One girl said, you know what I do need is I need a toner. I've got kind of combination skin. What do you recommend? And hey, can we do a Zoom? And then I can actually show you from my shelf what I have, and I can ask you some more questions. It'll just cut down our texting time. And she was like, sure. So we actually did, without her even knowing it, we did a New Year, New You thing, little appointment. And I went through what she's using. I went through how her skin is right now and what she might be needing. And I asked for the sale at the end, and I got a $60 sale out of it. So without her even knowing it, we did a New Year, New You look. And she was someone I'd never facialed before. She was someone who hopped on board. She's actually Chad's cousin. And when we were going for the trip goal in June, she ordered a Voluform set and all this. I think she spent about $600 at the end of June to help me get to the goal. So she had never really had that consultation specifically. So it was a really great appointment for me to do with her. So that's kind of what I'm doing now. I'm booking quick things. On our unit page, I put up the thing, and probably some of you have heard of it too. It was one of the $1 million messages about 5 products in 5 minutes. Those are really good to do too, because you can phone someone up who's come to mind, or you see someone's online on Facebook and be like, hey, do you have 5 minutes? I'm doing a challenge. I want to show 10 people my 5 favorite products in 5 minutes. Do you have 5 minutes? And you can do these quick appointments like one after the other. It doesn't take you too long, and it can generate some great sales. So those kind of things are all things that can help you finish off the month, because it's not over. We have another day tomorrow. All right. Also, I want you to check your numbers. As directors, we get really good at this, because at the end of the month, we're checking everybody's numbers, who's put in a couple of orders, and they're sitting at, one of my girls is sitting at 222 wholesale for the month. So I want to make sure that she realizes, and she's an A3. So we want her to make sure she realizes that, a $3 order and she's reactivated. But what about your numbers? And take a look at your numbers. So what were your goals at the beginning of the month? And where are you at? And take a look at your history. So if you've gone through, September, you did a 600 wholesale, in October, you did a 700 wholesale, in November, you did an 800, and December, you're sitting at 450. Do you want to be consistently in that 600 wholesale club? And what can you do to get there? All right. Because we can sell 150 and get you some, you can sell 150 in a heartbeat if you're willing to make the calls. So check your numbers. Check where you're at with your goals, because sometimes when we get distracted by an event, AKA Christmas, we sort of forget, right? It's like we were on the Mary Kay wagon and we fell right off, and we're not even really sure where the wagon's parked. And we don't even know anything. So just going back and reviewing where you were, what were my goals again? What was I going for? And what can I finish off? Okay. And then once you've scheduled when you're going to be done tomorrow, be done. Ladies, if I can give you any advice, I've been doing this business as a director for coming on 15 years now. And there have been many, many months where I haven't been disciplined enough to work really hard in my working time so that I can play really hard in my playing time. When you schedule yourself to be in your office, say from noon until 2, and then, noon hits and you just want to quickly put the laundry in quickly. And then, you might as well make yourself a cup of coffee, because if you're going to be doing calls, it's nice to have some coffee. And by the time you actually get into your office, it's 20 after 12. And then instead of hitting that list of the people you were supposed to call, you notice that there was a small order came in, and it would probably be really nice if you would just sticker that order and get it on your shelves, so that when you're doing your calls, if people ask if you have things, you'll know, right? All these little justifications we do in your head. So you actually only get on the phone about 1:15. And then when 2 o'clock hits, you're like, I actually only got on the phone at 1:15. And so now I feel like I can't actually be done at 2:00. And so then you stretch it out till 3:00. And you're losing integrity with yourself when you're doing that. Because if you were working for someone else, if you had a boss where you had to put in your time clock that you started at 2 or noon and you were done at 2, what time would you start? Noon. What time would you clock out? 2. But when we don't do that for ourselves, we start not taking ourselves as seriously. So lately, I have been trying to be like, okay, that's it. This girl has got to get on it. If I'm working, I'm working. If I'm fluffing, I'm fluffing. Like if you just want to putter, that's okay. Like, is any of you guys putters? Like, I like to just yeah, okay, Lori's a putter. I like to just do little things, put things away and make everything neat and tidy and just make it all look cute and all that sort of stuff. That's not really work. It's just making me feel better and busy, but it's not really getting my work done, right? So schedule yourself some putter time. If it gives you joy, schedule it. But when you do schedule yourself to be off, you got to do what you need to do to be off. So whatever time you're going to be done tomorrow for New Year's Eve, schedule it and be done and go and enjoy time so that when you're with your family, you can be with your family. When you're working your business. If you take it seriously, they'll take it seriously. Your customers will take it seriously. Your team will take it seriously. But if you're not even, definite with your times and stuff, then it's really hard for them. And the only reason I'm saying this is because, guys, I struggle with this all the time. So it's something that we consciously, it's not going to accidentally happen. Schedule it be your own boss. If you looked at the way you run your business, would you consider yourself a good boss? Are you clear with your expectations of your employee? I mean yourself. Do you know if you've given your employee this schedule, when they're supposed to work, when they're going to be off, what their duties are in the scheduled time? Are you a good boss? And then flip over to the other side. Are you a good employee? If your boss said you were supposed to be there at noon and you didn't show up till 1:15 in a regular job, what would happen? Yeah, you get your butt fired, right? So you don't want to be getting fired from your own self. That'd be really bad. Christy Mary Kay Ashwood so fired me, right? Like, so are you a good boss and are you a good employee? And then if you're not, that's okay. Tomorrow's a new day. But just keeping that in mind. All right. So then we have New Year's Eve tomorrow and we are not having our big parties and gatherings like we normally do. So then January 1st is going to hit and maybe it's a day off for you. Maybe it's not. I don't know what your boss scheduled you for. My boss gave me the day off. And yeah, we're going to do some family thing. But then you want to make sure on January 1st, at some point you take 33 seconds and you go to your car and you check the mileage and you write it down. Because if you're not driving a pink car, you are supposed to be keeping track of your mileage so that you can use gas and car wash and new window wipers and all of those things that you get for your car. You can use them as a write-off if you've been tracking your mileage. So go check your mileage on your car. Okay. Sometime in the next few days, you're going to want to do inventory. And Nadia did a fantastic job of teaching us how to do that. There was a second video on how to actually do the inventory. And what she does is she actually goes into the Mary Kay ordering page and she puts down everything that's on her shelf. That's what Lori does too. Okay. And so that way you have a total. It's really good. The only thing that you have to do separately from that is things that are no longer on that page, like discontinued items from previous catalogs. So you do that, take your inventory. Those are kind of the two big things that it's like, you got to get on right now. Because has there been times where it's a week, 2 weeks in that until I've done my inventory? Yes. Is it a pain in the butt? Kinda. Because then you have to sort of remember what you've sold to other people already and all that sort of thing. And you don't want to close your store until inventory is done. That's crazy, right? So making sure that you do that inventory at some point. And the next thing that you're going to want to do as quickly as you can, I don't know what filing system you have for your Mary Kay receipts and stuff, but 1 year, I kind of forgot to put I think it was 2016, the 2016 receipts in like my envelopes, like one for each category. And then all of a sudden it's like 3/4 of the way through 2017. I'm like, why are my files bulging? Like, this is crazy. And then I'm like, oh no. I had to go and sort the 16 from the 17. So you want to get your receipts that you have saved, get them, away with that year. Another thing that our accountant told us, when I have an accountant that I work with here, and he's so awesome. He comes in and does workshops for us so that we can ask him real life questions, and he's awesome. But one of the things he said is a good idea too, is to file your date book in with your receipts and stuff. So that if you ever did get like audited or whatever, like it shows when you worked and all that sort of stuff. So don't just throw your date book away. That's kind of what I used to do. Just file it with all the receipts and stuff that you keep. And we got to keep those receipts for 7 years. And so just so you know that, okay? So once you're kind of done that, don't you find that like when we have like, end of the month, and so you get a brand new month to start with, or a brand new year, or a brand new seminar year, we get that like, yay, like a fresh start. We like fresh starts, don't we, ladies? Because it's just like the sky's the limit. January to June is the most productive month, like half of the year. So whatever you've done, from what Melinda Rose had told us, like the first half of the year is 1/3 of what you'll do for the entire year. So that means from January to June, 2/3 of what you are going to do will happen in that time. And Lori's like, yes, trip for me easily, because I know she's on track. So knowing that you're going to have like I feel like July to December is kind of like the farming season, where it's the like planting time. And then January to June is our harvesting time. Well, actually the last quarter is harvesting time, but January, February, March is when we really get things going. So what are your goals? Take a look at what you decided in July. Where are you with that? Are you halfway? Yeah, perfect. Are you ahead of schedule? Excellent. Maybe you're gonna make the goal bigger. Are you not quite there? That's okay too, because remember, 2/3 of what's going to happen is going to happen from now until the end of June, right? So take a look at your goals, break them down. It doesn't matter if you just started last week. If you're a brand new consultant that just started last week, I mean, you can totally do quarter sales. I had one of my consultants, she started in February and she did quarter sales. You can do it, like you can get at her. So it doesn't really matter what's happened up to now. It's just going to give you a bit of a buffer. But take a look at where your goals are, where you're at in your goals. Also, my national sales director, Brenda Summick, is one who talks a lot about having 100 goals and dreams written down somewhere. 100. Who has 100 goals and dreams written down somewhere? Not everybody. And that is a really important thing to do, because it just gives you this excitement and this hope. Now, when I say 100 goals and dreams, I'm not talking like all Mary Kay things. I'm talking like when I do mine, it's like find a new system for underneath the kitchen sink, because I hate when the bottles are all like floppy outy and come in and out, I open the door and it's messy and I don't know where anything is, right? Like, so I do things like that, or like paint the bathroom, or like, Angela Harkins, one of her goals was to have all new underwear. So I thought that was really cool, because she was so proud of it. She was like, all new. She got rid of the old. And I thought that's an awesome goal, right? So what are your goals? Is it you're gonna, renovate? Or are you going to lose a couple pounds, gain a couple pounds, have a baby? Are you going to start a workout program? Like, what are they? You want 100. Now, they don't all have to be from now until the end of June to complete, but they're going to be goals that you have for down the road. One of them for me is to own a property in Maui. That's one that Chad and I have had as a dream for ourselves. And it's so funny, because when we got the new Cadillac, he bought out the old Cadillac. So they took off the wrap, so it's black underneath. And when he got his license plate, it was 023 MAU. He's like, see, that means we're going to have a property in Maui in 2023. so we got to make this happen. I was like, yeah. So it's awesome. So having those goals and dreams, writing them down. Christy, yes, I got yours. I haven't had a chance to read through all of them. But have those written down, check out your goals, and then it gives you the freedom to actually get to work because you know what you're working for, you know what it's going to take, you know what level of activity you need to do. You're going to be able to figure out in there, where do I need to, get a little help from my director? I'm feeling a little lost, or I'm feeling a little like this is maybe feeling too big, or I'm not really sure of ideas to make this happen. Tap into your director then. So, but if you've done it after you've figured out all your goals and after you've got all that done, you know what you're actually looking for from her, right? If you just go to her and say, I need help because I don't know what to do, that's pretty open-ended. So you don't know what to do to renovate your kitchen. You don't know what to do to get new names. You don't know what to do to sort your samples. Like, what is it, right? So when you come to her knowing your goals, you can come to her with specific pointed questions so she can be much more helpful for you. And then you can just get to work and get it done. And then we get to celebrate like crazy come July when we all hit our goals and have new bling and have cars and have suits and have trips and have all the things. Like, then it's really great times. So I'm proud of you ladies for being on here. We weren't very planned and prepared with this because I was a day behind. I'm proud of you for doing all you've done to get to this point, because this has not been an easy year. This has been a year where all of a sudden someone pulled the rug out from under us. And it was like, okay, here's a new plan, pivot, go. And we tried it. And then for some of us, it was like, no, that didn't really work. Let's pivot and try something else. For some of us, like, ooh, that works good. I'm going to keep doing that. How many times have we had to pivot and go, pivot and go, pivot and go since last March? A whole lot. And those of you that are on the line are ones who've been doing it. And I'm so proud of you for that, because lots didn't. And that's okay. But I bet you some of them wish they would have. And so if you're willing to pivot and go, if you're willing to get organized, if you're willing to do what you need to do, if you're willing to be the best boss and the best employee that you can have anything you want in Mary Kay. This is the best business to be in right now. I believe that with all of me, because we have money sitting on our shelves. We have the ability to work when we want. We have the ability to keep our businesses running when other things are shut down. Our competition cannot keep up because they have restrictions as far as how many people can come shop and when they can shop and all that sort of thing. We don't. We have mailboxes and porch boxes for pickups, or we can drop off, right? We are in the best place at the best time with the best company backing us. Clearly, they have our best interest in heart when they have done all the things they've done with half price shipping and with the starter kit modifications to give us what we need, and all of the things that they've done digitally for us, and the training that they put on a seminar. Canadian seminar was the first one worldwide. Like, what? They're willing to put their necks out there and go for it and take a chance. Could have been an epic fail. Could have been a total flop. But they believe in us and they want to help us enough that they're willing to do that. And so you're in the right place. You're in the right place at the right time, and you've got all it takes. So all you need to do is just go for it. So I believe in you. Lori believes in you. Carol and Nadia and Raven and May and some of the other directors that are on this call regularly, we all believe in you. We want you to succeed. We want you to match our suits. We need more of us, and we want you to join us. So do what it takes, because we really, really want you with us. There's not a better time, so just go for it. So I wish you all Happy New Year. Stay safe, my friends. Enjoy your time, your work time and your play time. And just know that we all love you and we want the best for you. All right. Have a good night, everyone. Take care.